Hey guys, what's up? It's Peacekeeper here, or Marine, and I'm gonna be casting a game that I played on the ladder just like an hour ago, and it felt like one of the most intense games I've played in a long time. Um, yeah, and we'll see what happens. On the top right-hand position, it's gonna be me spawning as the Red Terran, as Peacekeeper. In the bottom left-hand position, Eternity Yosh, spawning as the Blue Protoss over here. And this is kind of like a mid-masters level play, like top 25 level. And this new map is kind of weird, but I feel like it's one of the better ones, like that other one with the weird tiny little choked path that joins kind of like the natural bases. I hate that one. I vetoed that one as soon as I saw it. But this one's been giving me pretty good results lately, especially against Zerg and stuff. A small map like this with the third so far away can be pretty nice for Terran. And in TvP, I'm kind of indifferent, nor good nor bad, but we'll see what happens. This time around, I do go for Mech again. It's kind of become my standard play, my staple in my laddering experience, just because, as I said in the past videos, I just don't like microing bio armies in the late game. I just don't have the APM to do it. Just too much stuff to keep track of. Ghosts, Vikings, your bio splits against storms. It's just something I can't really achieve very effectively. And so Mech, it's a lot sturdier. You don't lose all your marines to like 3 storms if you don't dodge them and stuff. So I've been liking it a lot. The only problem is though, air transitions are pretty difficult to identify as well as counter properly. So I throw down 12 barracks, 13 gas. I do a little Hellion opening to try and get some early probe kills, put myself ahead in mid-game. It's always nice to be ahead in workers against a Protoss. My Protoss opponent, on the other hand, is going for 1 gas, actually. A lot of Protosses have been opting to go for double gas with 2 in each, just because it lets them get an earlier Mothership Core out with Stalker pressure and stuff. But, you know, this old Wings of Liberty style with the 1 gas isn't bad at all. It's not even Wings of Liberty style, like, I mean, it's just as viable as 2 gas opening in Heart of the Swarm, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, a lot of the times when I scout this C to 1 gas, I feel pretty good because I know it's going to be an expand build, no sort of weird proxy oracles or 1 base play incoming. So my SCV does move around into the main here, skirts past the probe that puts down the nexus here, and back at home I build my factory as soon as I have 100 gas, and I go up to 3 marines here just so I can hold off any early Mothership Core poke into the main. And this also gives me time before I swap the reactor over to the factory for my factory to build 1 Widow Mine, and that Widow Mine just provides so much utility against defense, for defense against oracles and stuff. And if a stalker tries to poke up and walks over the Widow Mine, it gets 1 shot, so that's pretty nice for me. But my SCV does get out of the main here, barely surviving there. It spots the natural expansion as well as what's up in the main. I believe I spotted the 2nd gas come down, but I know it's only just been secured, so no immediate tech should be coming out of the Protoss. So yeah, and then after the factory and reactor and stuff, I throw down my command center as soon as I can afford it. This like Hellion poke and stuff delays my command center if compared to if I went for like a 1 Rex expand, but I think it's pretty worth it, and it's a pretty safe opening as well. So I've been liking this style of opening, and Protosses just aren't very experienced with dealing with Hellions, and especially in the early game, Mothership Core just doesn't have the DPS to really ward them away straight away. So Photon Overcharge has to be used, and if I skirt around here, Photon Overcharge gets used. I can move into the main if I want to. I can also pull out and build up some more Hellions and come back later. But we'll see what happens here. I plant my Widow Mine at the front, my Marines at the front as well. I put a bunker down in preparation for defense for my natural command center here. And once my barracks builds a reactor, it lands down and builds a tech lab for some early Marauders in case of some weird gateway pressure. The Marauders are a really nice addition to your defenses, especially in a bunker and stuff. So it looks like my first 2 Hellions are going to move into natural here. And it looks like he only has a sentry and a Mothership Core, so I see this and I'm feeling pretty good. Should be able to squeeze out a few kills here. Looks like I get 1, 2, third one. Yeah, looks like I'm going to skirt around to the back and see what I can get done. He's actually not using photon overcharge, which is kind of weird. I feel like he should have used it, like losing this many probes and losing this much mining time. It's just not worth it. The photon overcharge like could have prevented all this from happening. I don't know why he didn't use it, to be honest. Nine SCV probe kills there. Pretty nice for me. I am ahead by one worker. Although I don't have double worker production yet because this one is floating over to the natural to land. And I built 2 more Hellions, I believe, going up to 4, having built 6 in total. This is pretty nice because I do want to go for a secondary poke into the natural, see what I can get done. Picking off sentries early on is pretty nice as well, because they move so slow and Hellions do so much damage against light units, 14 damage. And so picking off that kind of stuff is pretty nice because it forces the Protoss to replenish them, and that's a lot of gas wasted that they won't be spending into their tech here. Looks like an observer was made in the robo, and it is going to scout around my main and see what's up. It's not abundantly clear as of yet that I'm going mech, but he should see that it's kind of weird. And if he spots a second factory, he should know what's going on here. So it looks like my 4 Hellions are going to move into the natural here, see what's up. And looks like I'm going to target the sentry down here straight away, and I feel like I have to pull out because he force fielded this, and with the 2 stalkers as well as photon overcharge activated, those Hellions aren't going to get very much done. Looking in the main though, looks like 3 gates, a robo, a forge for upgrades, pretty nice, and a robotics bay, so Colossus are going to come into play here. The problem is though, Colossus not that great against mech. They're good at dealing with the Hellbats, but at the same time the tanks and stuff, they will be able to pick away at them from afar. And the problem with Colossus is as well that the Protoss army clumps up under it, because all the gateway units can stand under the Colossus, and if the tank hits the Colossus, it hits everything under it as well. So, yeah, the Colossus alone isn't really the right choice, I think. In the later stages, if you have a lot of Archons and Immortals, you can mix in some Colossus to pick off the Hellbats early on, so you can get at the tanks and Thors and stuff in the back. I'd load up a Hellbat drop here to follow up that Hellion harass. I probably want to poke in the front as well with the Hellions, because if I can pull the units out of position, I can run in here and get some more probe kills, and that'd be pretty nice for me. The worker count is looking pretty nice, only behind by 4 at the 10-minute mark. A lot of times you can be behind by quite a few more just because of how fast you can crank out probes with the Chrono Boost. My 3rd command center coming down as well. I do want to take this into a long-term play because mech in the low supply counts, it just isn't that powerful. And it looks like my Protoss opponent is going for a Stargate, having spotted the mech playstyle that I'm doing. And my Hellbat drop goes in here, gets a few kills here. I load them up. I do want to try and chase down the probes, but at the same time my boost is actually on cooldown, and it looks like it gets picked off, but my 2 Hellions now running into the natural. I saw the units pull into the main here, so let's see what I can get done. It looks like I might get a few kills here. I pull out 14 kills overall. That puts me ahead by 4 workers there, and I'm feeling pretty good. My harass has done some pretty good stuff. Really delays the Protoss's build, and that really allows me to build up my huge mech force, which in the end hopefully will be able to roll over my opponent. But the problem is though, like he is going for 3 Stargates here, committing really hard. And he looks like he is taking this 3rd base. The problem with mech, in the mid game you can't really deny expansions just because of how immobile the army is, and you can get caught out of position pretty hard, and splitting up your army is pretty much out of the question because tanks and stuff are just really bad in low numbers. I am adding my 2nd and 3rd barracks here together with a Ghost Academy because I do want to start adding those ghosts for EMP. A lot of Protosses like to go for Immortals to try and counter mech as well as Archons, and EMPs pretty much negate them pretty hard. Looks like actually ship weapons starting this early on in the game means he really wants to commit to this air transition, and that's really nice because if I don't spot it, with my army being mostly ground-to-ground attacks, he can crush my army pretty hard if I'm not careful here. My upgrades are rolling kind of slowly. +1 armor out in the way, +1 vehicle weapons is finished here. And dropping down NG bays at the front is a thing I like to do, just because it really negates the possibility for some sort of frontal push to really crush this army while it's building up. A lot of Zealot Archon pushes have killed me in the past, and I've realized that because you have so many minerals banking as a meching Terran, you can really afford to throw down these engineering bays, and they act as really nice buffers. tanking some of the DPS if the Protoss isn't controlled properly. And this allows me to feel pretty safe to secure my third. A lot of my stuff is kind of hanging around here. I do add a turret to try and deny the observers from sitting over my army. Actually, 3 observers here, all sitting one at the ramp, and 2 here just kind of doing nothing. I guess he's kind of content. He knows what I'm doing, so it's not too bad. And look at this. He's actually hiding his Void Rays, and that's so key because I'm going to scan around here to spot his army composition, and not spotting the Void Rays is going to be quite painful if I'm not careful here. And as you can see, I'm building up a lot of tanks and Hellbats and stuff, and these Marauders as well don't attack air. The only anti-air I really have is like a few Widow Mines, 3 Marines, some Ghosts. I am producing a few Thors though, so hopefully that'll help a bit. And Ravens are actually pretty damn good against Void Rays just because of how badly Void Rays clump up. And if you can get a Seeker Missile right in the middle of them, you should be able to get some really nice DPS done. And it looks like an Observer got killed by this turret as well, but the Observer did spot the 3rd timing. And I think he's going to leave me alone for a while because he is also building up a huge death ball here. The Void Ray count is really starting to build up, and I do really need to be careful. Actually starting shield upgrades because they do benefit all Protoss unit types, including air. So that should be pretty good for him. And I scanned and I see that he doesn't have very much, so this is a little suspicious to me, but at the same time I do probably want to push and see what I can get done, because if he is midway through a air transition, I do want to try and get some damage done, and I don't want to have all these tanks and Hellbats in my army if he is going for air transition, just because if I don't trade now and maybe kill off some of my tanks and stuff, I just won't have any supply left over for the anti-air that I'll need later on. Looks like I'm adding another starport here. I'll probably add a reactor on this to add some Vikings. Vikings are just really nice anti-air in general. I think it's one of the strongest air units, to be honest. Like, their range is really nice, and their ability to be repaired is pretty nice as well as a meching turn, because you do want to pull some SCVs with your pushes here. The problem now is that his Void Ray count is so high, and this fight is probably going to go in favor of him. I will be able to demolish the ground army though. EMP is landing nicely over here, and the Thor's in splash damage mode against air, doing really nice against the Void Rays here, and one Seeker Missile is going to land down on the Void Rays. See what I can get done. Boom! Wow, that was so many Void Rays going down there, and I got kind of lucky there. He really clumped his stuff up, and this allows me to move into the natural here and try to snipe this base, hopefully, because at this point I know this army is going to die off, and I don't really want to retreat with this army because I don't really want any more tanks in my army. And I do send a bunch of stuff over here to try and kill some of the workers and do some damage to this 3rd while I preoccupy his army here at the natural. Looks like he force fields me out. I was able to take out the natural expansion, and at this point I do just want to try and do as much damage as possible. And wow, this tank is really glitching. I don't know what he's doing. I'm actually trying to target down this Stargate here to try and cut down on his ability to build a lot of air units. And it looks like I killed a bunch of workers at the natural. I am slightly ahead in workers. My 4th base has landed down. A really nice move to do when you push out to expand, because it preoccupies your opponent, and it really forces them to focus on defending back and not being able to do any counter harass. And when I see this air transition, I'm kind of panicking. Looks like he had a lot of infrastructure to build the Void Rays, because he did have so many. So I do want to start adding Thors as well as a lot of Widow Mines. If you look back at home, I am up to four factories and the 5th one on the way, 2 with reactors, because I do want to crank out the Widow Mines really fast. The Widow Mines are just so good against air units because they clump up really nicely. And Thors alone are just not enough, because although they may be good against air, like with their new high impact payload and stuff, Void Rays just melt them so fast when they activate their prismatic alignment, and I am producing 3 Vikings at a time. My upgrades are actually quite lacking this game. At the 19, close to the 20 mark, I am stuck on like 2-1. I should have added my 2nd army a while back, and I have neglected to do that. So that's a little mistake on my part, but I do want to also add ghosts constantly, not as many as usual, because if my opponent goes for an Immortal Archon based army, I do want a lot more ghosts, because you need to EMP a lot of stuff. But when they're going air, you don't need that much EMP, especially against Void Rays, because they do clump up. You can get some really nice hits off, as you saw in the first fight there. But mixing them is always nice, because that is a lot of damage they can do with the EMP to their shields. So right now I'm pretty much exclusively building Widow Mines and Thors and Vikings. I do add some Hellbats just for some tanking power. I don't want his Zealots, if he does make some, to really come in and start damaging my Thors or tanking the Widow Mine hits. I do want all my Widow Mines to hit his air units. So at this point I'm feeling pretty good. I'm actually up in supply here, being able to remax slightly earlier than my opponent, adding a lot of command centers because my mineral bank is getting quite high up there. Producing a lot of Thors though. I'm focusing on stuff that can hit air because that's really what I need. My Viking count's looking pretty healthy as well. A Raven coming out as well. You do want mobile detection against DTs and stuff because I did bring a bunch of workers with that fight, and although I'm at 72 still, every fight I do want to bring some SCVs with it to really add that sustain to the mech army, being able to repair it like that. And also the fact that I'm adding command centers, which will be turned into orbital commands. Mining minerals with SCVs just kind of becomes... you don't need to do it if you have that many meals. Like, you really only need a few to mine gas and a bit on the minerals. But it looks like when I max out, I'm confident enough to push out here. This is a lot of Thors as well. And I don't put all of them in high impact payload just because I saw he was going Void Rays, and clumped up Void Rays take a lot of damage from the splash damage that the Thors can do. And I pull a bunch of SCVs, as I stated before. His upgrade's looking pretty nice, +2 shields, +2 air weapons coming out. He is at 1, no armor though, so my upgrades are behind. Behind what they're supposed to be, but so are his. So this isn't too bad at all. And looks like a fight is incoming here. It looks like he has carriers, actually. Carriers are pretty rare commodity here in... Oh, what?! Oh my god, I don't know if you guys saw that, but my Widow Mines burrowing under my Vikings, they actually hit a lot of the interceptors, and they actually ended up taking out a lot of my Vikings here, but it looks like I destroyed the ground army there, and all he has is these carriers right now. So I am able to move forward and hopefully snipe this third base, or at least these Stargates here. The anti-air of the Thors isn't the greatest, but with these Widow Mines here, I am able to zone out a lot of the air units here because he really doesn't want to lose expensive carriers right now. So I take out 2 of these Stargates, pretty nice for me. I do really need to be careful about the interceptors. I didn't really realize this until I played this game, but interceptors actually get targeted down by the Widow Mines, so they do end up doing a lot of splash damage to my own units here, and this many carriers, I think he's going to be able to overwhelm my Thors though, but back at home I'm macroing pretty nicely. I just want to pick off as much as I can before these Thors die. It's a bit of a shame that I didn't have enough support to really kill off the 4th base here, but it looks like these Hellbats getting a lot of kills each. I am up to 54 workers killed. Yeah, he's actually at 82 workers though, so losing a few workers doesn't really hurt him that much. Back at home I am focusing on a lot of anti-air still, because I can see he's committing so hard to that anti-air, that air army. And this is kind of the problem with Mech. You can't really deny your opponent's expansions, because as I said before, you can't really split up your army. And although Hellbats can be split off to do some economic damage, they're just really not good enough against buildings to really take out expansions. Some Widow Mines, I do try to send them over here to try and burrow behind the middle line, but with a cannon there for detection, they do get intercepted there. A little unfortunate. Looking at the units lost tab, looking pretty even. He's lost a few thousand more than me, but at this point, that's not too big of a deal. He is mining off a lot more bases, so he can afford to be slightly less cost efficient than me. But I have pegged my opponent on that air army, so I know what units I want to build here, and I'm securing my 5th base here. Gas is going down, planetary fortress coming down, extra command center landing over here to probably try and make that into planetary as well, because I don't want to die. I don't want this to die to some sort of DT warp in or mass zealot run bys and stuff. 2 planetaries is a pretty nice thing, pretty nice setup to hold any sort of harassment. And with these turrets here as well, I will be able to hold off DTs as well as at least delay my Protoss opponent from taking this army out, this base out with his air army straight away. It looks like I'm pretty close to remaxing here. A +3 attacks is coming out on the way. And this is a problem with, oh, it's not a problem, but this is a really big characteristic of when you go mech, that you build up a lot of minerals, and you usually pretty gas starved here. I might have overproduced Thors here a little bit, maybe having a few more Vikings or Ravens together with Widow Mines would be nice. 6 ghosts in here, that's pretty nice. EMPing these units like this would be pretty nice because they do have a lot of shields there. And one EMP does drains 100 shields, so 2 EMPs on each of these should bring them down to just 300 health instead of the 450. So I should feel pretty good in this engagement. I do need to make sure I control it right though. It looks like my opponent is going to sack this stuff here. It's pretty much like wasted supply. Sentries aren't that great, especially because Thors can kind of crush the force fields. And I do have a Widowmine burrowed here, getting 5 kills. Pretty worth it here. Whoa, what? He's at 103 probes? He's overmade way too many probes here. And that could be a problem because he's stuck at like this pretty small army right now. And my army is looking pretty good at this point. Let's look at the army value. Yeah, I'm way ahead in army value here. Well, not way ahead, but quite a bit. The pros could be a lot more army supply here. And this is what I was talking about. If these turrets weren't here, this base would have gotten taken out straight away. But it does buy some time for my air army here to try and engage his stuff, to try and make it pull back. And Widowmine's burrowing here. Let's see what they can get done. Ooh, not the greatest. Got some damage, but didn't kill very many carriers there. But this moving in here does allow me to take out this base while his army is forced away. I do need to take care of this though. I don't want this to do too much damage here. Picking off production facilities would be pretty bad for me because I don't want to spend any more gas on production facilities. I just want to be spending them exclusively on units, especially because this is going into the really late game here. Already at 30 minutes now, and this could turn into some sort of game where all the bases get mined out, and I do want to be as cost efficient as possible. And reproducing unit producing structures is just not something you want to do in a game like that. My Widow Mines here should burrow anytime now to try and take this out. Looks like I'm not really watching though. This could be a bit bad. But yeah, now they do burrow, so they do take out everything except one stalker here. And my army is moving back into position to try and take this out. And whoa, he's actually warping in 2 pylons here into my base to see if he can get away with that. He is sacking a lot of probes though. That's the right choice. Like, he had way too many workers just now. He is down to 69. He doesn't have too big of a bank, but his army, wherever it is, where is his army? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's looking really nice right now. These carriers are actually really effective against Thors and stuff, because if I don't target fire correctly, a lot of the times my Thors will be hitting just random interceptors, and that's just really not what you want to do. You really want to take out the actual mothership carrier here. And he's adding Tempest as well, so he is probably going to try and pick away at my army from afar. And they do pretty damn good against ground units. 39 damage with +3. And this also negates the possible BC transition for me, because Tempests do 95 damage versus massive air, and that is just ridiculous amounts of DPS. Looks like he's breaking down these rocks. I wonder why. Doesn't really need to, because his army is mostly air, and I mean, he could just fly over it, to be honest. But my Widowmine count is looking really healthy here, up to 22 Widowmines, a few less Thors this time, so that's pretty nice for me. The Viking count could be slightly higher maybe, but these Ravens are going to do pretty nicely as well. And looks like my Protoss opponent is setting up a concave here. Really nice job for him to spread his stuff, because the Thors, the reason why I have half of them on the original anti-air is because I want to do damage against his clumped up stuff, but he's not clumping it up at all this time around. I think I make the same mistake here. Oh, a lot of my Vikings died to my Widow Mines here, and killing a few interceptors is just not worth it. Like, the rest of my army is just not that great. I really need that Widow Mine DPS to go down on the actual units here, and I just wasn't able to do that. So he traded really cost efficiently there, getting slightly ahead in the units lost tab here. My worker count is really low now, but at the same time I am basically mined out of my natural and third, so I'm only mining off 2 bases in terms of minerals. So with these orbital commands around, I should be pretty good. My natural and main have actually mined out in terms of gas, so I do probably want to secure a 6th base, but to be honest. Like, he's resecuring this. He has this base. Oh wow, I missed this fight over here. But oh, nice Widow Mines, hitting a lot of the air there, and a lot of the carriers have been taken out. So Tempests alone, to be honest, just aren't that great. If I am able to mass up enough Vikings, I should be able to take out this army. So I wouldn't. This might be a slight overcommittal if he tries to push into the natural, even though I don't have very much. I think I will be able to eventually outproduce him and be able to push this back. So he does pull back. Nice move there. I am slightly mineral starved here, which is a big surprise just because of... Oh, it looks like I dropped a bunch of mules though, so my mineral income should boost up quite nicely. Yeah, going up to 2,500 there. That's pretty nice for me. Looks like I have a few ghosts, a few ravens, Thors out on the way, more Thors, as well as a lot of Widow Mines coming out. And at this point, I don't want to have too many Thors. I do want to primarily have Vikings and Widow Mines, because Widow Mines and Vikings are just so good against the air. And Widow Mines are actually pretty damn good against ground units as well. They do one-shot pretty much all the gateway units. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Tempests moving around the map, the flagship of the Protoss army here. And I'm pretty happy that they decided not to remove the carrier. Carriers are pretty badass as a unit in itself, and I mean, there's no real reason to remove them, even if they're not being used. Like, they're just fun to use in team games, and in this game he's using to pretty good effect here. He is maxed out ahead of time of me, but then again, his worker supply is a lot bigger than mine, so I do have a lot more space for the army here. My army is definitely smaller though, so I do need to be careful in trying to engage this. He might have overproduced Tempest though, just because of how good the Vikings are against them. I feel like carriers are probably slightly better against the Vikings than Tempests are. And the thing about Tempest is that PDE does negate their damage pretty nicely, but the Interceptors do a nice job of not soaking up, but wasting a lot of the energy here. And looks like I trade pretty nicely now. My Vikings are able to overwhelm my opponent here. Widow Mines did get some nice hits off as well, and I do need to be careful though, not to overcommit with these Vikings. I do want to have my have them above my Thors, so the ground units do get taken out. A lot of my Widow Mines got taken out though right there. He did have a few observers around. I might have been able to snipe them because I did get detection with these Ravens. And yet again, he's actually ahead in supply against me. Army supplies are pretty close though. I'm slightly behind yet again. Looks like I traded efficiently enough that I have pulled ahead in the units lost tab again. Our APMs are pretty high. I usually cap out at around 120, to be honest. And his is slightly above me. Not too bad though, but the thing I need to worry about now is that my bases are really starting to run out of resources. My third base gases are mining out, which means I'm only in 4 gases worth of income. And although I may have a bank here, replacing this type of mech army is just so expensive. And I do really need to be careful not to lose my army in a fight and not be able to max out just because I don't have any mining bases. And as I said before, the Pros has been able to secure this base as well as this base. So he can really afford to be slightly less cost efficient than me. And that's pretty much what's happening now. So I do really need to be cost efficient here if I want to pull out a win here. Moving over some SCVs to repair up the damaged units here. I don't want to go into a fight with half my units in the yellow and red health here. That does really cut down the cost efficiency of them. And now it looks like, yeah, I'm really low on gas. +2 ship weapons is out on the way. I haven't started +3 just because I am really gas starved. I'm actually just pretty starved in terms of resources in general, and looks like he's actually going to move over here to try and take out this base. He's actually letting his observers die, and that's a pretty big problem just because of how many Widow Mines I have. He really wants to be able to see them and kill them every time because they do go right under the Protoss army, and pulling them back is pretty risky for me. And looks like he takes out this base. Not too big of a deal. I should be able to land this down once I push this army away. Looks like he pulls back though. He's just content denying my mining because he knows this is pretty much my last mining base, apart from this one. And it looks like my Widow Mines are moving forward over here. Their target priority is actually quite low. So, ooh, they kill a lot of the interceptors there, and only one carry went down, I think, to the Widow Mines. But this time my Widow Mines didn't do friendly damage to my Vikings and kill them all. So this is really nice for me. My Vikings are doing a nice job of warding away a lot of this Protoss army, picking off a bunch of the carrier is lagging behind here. Looks like his ground army is looking pretty formidable, but at the same time my Thors are just pretty damn good, and with my Vikings being able to deal with the majority of the air army here, I am able to push my opponent back, and I take a supply lead for the first time in a really long time here. Free immortal there, thank you. And at this point, looks like I'm going to try and push forward to see if I can get some damage on. I know I traded really cost efficiently there. I'm actually 10,000 resources. Well, he's lost 10,000 more resources than me, so that's really nice for me. That means I have been a lot more cost efficient here. Moving my Widow Mines over here to try and take out these Morphing and Archons. And they do a nice job here, and I feel like I can overwhelm this force at the natural and perhaps push into the main, take out some of the unit-producing structures. That is going to be so key in this match, because that will hinder his ability to remax in time, even though he has a lot of resources right now. Looks like the last Tempest did get taken out there, and my Thors are just camping the natural ramp here, reinforcing Widow Mines as well as 2 more Thors coming here, a Raven as well. I don't want to lose a lot of my stuff to DTs here. And now I move into the main. And I have pretty much free reign over the production facilities right now, because he hasn't been able to reproduce a lot of his stuff. He's actually down at 100 supply right now. Planting the Widow Mines here in case he does have some extra air units that will try to prevent my army from doing this. But yeah, it looks like I'm going to take out a lot of these structures here. Taking the Stargate down is really nice. This fleet beacon would be really nice as well, just because that will... well, that he won't be able to build any more carriers or the Tempests, and that's kind of what the units he's kind of been depending on here. Looks like he's putting down a Twilight Council, a Robotics Bay, and starting Colossus production here. But I don't know how good Colossus will be though. I have the Viking count to really negate them, and Thor is just really just kind of tank the Widowmine damage here. And looks like I am splitting up my Mech army a bit here to try and deny this base, even though I said they were really bad in small numbers. I do really want to try and deny some of the extra unit producing structures that are coming up here, as well as maybe take out this base. But it looks like his DTs are warping in, and I have pretty much cleared out the main here, so I will probably move away now. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. If I'm not paying attention here, these DTs are going to do a lot of damage here. It looks like my Hellbats do a nice job of taking out the majority of them, and he's actually quite gas-starved as well. So taking out those Templars was a really nice move for me. It looks like he kites back with his Colossus pretty nicely, though. I'm busy controlling this army over here. And at this point, as you can see, I'm pretty much mined out. Apart from this mineral patch, 2 here, there's 145 minerals there. I'm pretty much mined out on my side of the map, and my Protoss opponent's having this base and this base secured. It's just hurting me so much in this game. If I want to try and come back, I do really not want to let him build up another army and trade cost efficiently against me, because if I lose my army right now, I'm pretty much dead. This army is all I have right now. I have no more mining except for these gas geysers. These ones have ran out. These orbital commands just kind of sitting here. Pretty much only used for them will be scans, or maybe trying to steal some resources with mules, but there's cannons here and his army is here, so I can't really do that right now. Looks like I moved down here to try and deny this base. And this is really important if I want to stay in this game. And I did spot a lot of his unit producing structures were here as well, so taking out those is a pretty big bonus for me as well. Because I know I took out the majority of his tech and unit producing structures in the main out. My Widowmine count is really nice at 23, so these hopefully will be able to give me some really cost-efficient trades here. And I'm afraid that he's going to come in here with some air units, so I burrow my Widowmines here, position my Vikings over, while my Thors and these 2 Hellbats take down the buildings here. And looks like my Protoss is not confident enough to engage my army, and that's a wise choice for him. He just doesn't have very much. He has a few Void Rays, but those will get taken up by the Widowmines, Thors, and Vikings. And Colossus, as I said before, I have the Vikings to deny them, so I'm feeling pretty good, and I spot a lot of tech here as well, so I will take that out. And yeah, my goal is just to not let him build up another army, and denying the tech really forces him to build a lot of useless units against the Mech army, like Zealots. As you can see, there's quite a few Zealots being warped in here. At this point, my army is just a lot better than his. Even it's just bigger and it costs a lot more, so he can't really engage. His only choice is to really try and deny well, just kind of avoid the engagement and wait till the last second, build up a big enough army to try and take this on. and I do come over here and take this base out. He has one gas geyser mining here as well, he's pretty much going to run out here pretty soon. But I do take out some more unit producing structures here, and I'm feeling pretty good here, but at the same time I know how dangerous of a position I am in right now. If I lose this army, I'm dead. But the good thing for me is he doesn't have a big enough army to do that as of yet, although it's looking quite formidable now. The only problem is though that this many zealots aren't going to do that greatly against this kind of army. My Thors take them out pretty nicely. Widowmines one-shot each zealot, and with the splash damage here, look how clumped up this army is. If I can get some nice Widowmine hits off onto that army, I should be feeling pretty good in that engagement. But I don't want to move down this ramp. I know this base is mined out. There's no point for me really denying it. Maybe later on if it becomes into like a weird base trade where I'm trying to eliminate him through killing all his structures, that could be a problem. But at this point, this is my primary target. I know he's mining here. I know there's resources here. And he's got a lot of gateways here as well. So if I can take this stuff out, I should be in a pretty good position. His army, though, he has bought a lot of time. He has been avoiding the engagement for the longest time here. Colossus is being stuck, though. Kind of funny there. Looks like he might be confident enough to try and engage my army here. His army supply is actually ahead of mine now. I guess the only thing that I have going for me is that he has a lot of zealots, and his army will clump up quite nicely for me. So looks like an engagement might happen here, but Widowmine's moving forward. Their target priority is quite low, so they will be able to burrow down. Oh, and so many Archons went down there, together with a lot of zealots. And at this point, these Thors should be able to clear out these zealots, and together with the Vikings, should be able to take out. Should be able to take out these Colossus. I do let them retreat here, because as I said before, my primary target is this. If I kill this, he has no more mining, although he is taking this base again, and I'm trying to land this here because I desperately need some minerals right now for repair as well as extra units. But I scan over here, I see there's no army in position. His army itself is pretty small now. Stalkers are just really bad against mech units, especially against Thors and stuff. So I'm feeling pretty nice as long as I can position my Widowmines in a defensive position while my Thors take out the structures here. I should be able to come out ahead here. Looks like he's going to try and sandwich my army. Some of the reinforcements here as well as coming from the back. Trying to tank some of the Widowmine hits though. Doing a nice job there. Oh, and his DTs are actually doing quite a bit of damage. I do need to be ready for to scan and take those out before they take out any more of my Thors. My army is slowly getting chipped away at, and if I lose this army, as I said before, I'm so dead. But at this point, he's actually really low on resources. And his army supply is pretty much non-existent now. So as long as I can take this out, swing around here, deny this base again, I should be in a really nice spot. His DTs though doing a nice job again. It looks like I'm not paying attention. I let him take out one Thor there. It looks like he's engaging with his probes, actually forcing some splash damage on my own units there. I am down to just 3 Thors, and this army is so fragile right now that all this stuff is so low health. And I did kill a lot of the probes though, so that should be pretty nice for me. Looks like I'm actually trying to squeeze out some minerals here with these mules, and his probes are actually trying to deny my mules from taking the resources here. I do get a little bit here, but this Dark Templar will be able to really nicely deny these mules right here. And I do need to be careful though. If I do waste all my energy on mules, I won't have any to scan because I actually have enough minerals to build a Raven, but I do think repairing this army is a priority right now. I do produce one more Widowmine, one measly Widowmine there. But I desperately need resources right now to repair my army up and potentially add some more units. Because if his DTs can get in and catch me off guard or something, or if he is able to rebuild some air units or something, he could potentially come back. And at this point, I'm feeling so tense. This game has been going on for 53 minutes, and if I lose this, I'm gonna be so demoralized. I've spent so long trying to take him out. I was in a disadvantageous position, and I've made this pretty much miracle comeback right now. And I'm kind of being a little indecisive here. I'm not sure how big his army is, just because I'm not sure if he has any unit producing structures, and I wasn't sure how big his bank was. So it looks like I am using the remaining minerals that I have, the ones that I was able to squeeze out of the mules here, to try and repair up my army before I go in for one last push here. If this doesn't work, if I don't take this out right now, I've pretty much lost, but without an army for him, I feel like this could be a success for me. He's pulling away his probes now, so Middlemind's getting some nice hits here, and the Thors, they just do so much damage against these buildings right now. And the Nexus goes down, and I'll be able to land this here and mine these remaining resources. Not very much left, but I mean, at this point, any amount of resources is good for me. And looks like this is his final push here, Zealots and DTs. I scan in time to take it out, and I think I've done it. He leaves. He leaves the game, and that was such an intense game. Even rewatching it like this, I was so tense. 55-minute game in 15 seconds. Mech against Protoss. Many times before, I've been kind of hard countered with the air composition of the Protoss, and I haven't really been able to overcome it. But I feel like I've kind of discovered the composition that I need to take out the air army of the Protoss. It's primarily Widow Mines. If I can get some really nice Widow Mine shots off, the Vikings and Thors will do the rest of the work. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I definitely enjoyed winning that one. While I was in the game, I didn't really enjoy it because it was so tense and so much adrenaline rushing through my body. But yeah, hope to see you guys next time, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you guys later.